So, how are you, man?
Pretty good.
It's good to have you back in Atlanta.
Yeah. It's been a minute.
I have to ask you straight away. Last time we talked at Opera, you said that you had talked to Empire of the Sun, and I wondered if anything ever came of that.
Not really. Like, I wish. I mean, we talked a little bit. I think one of the guys on their team knows my manager, Steven, and I don't know. We hadn't. They seemed excited about the idea of working together, but we had never, I don't know. I think they were like working on an album or like just like I don't know. When it came down to try like actually like make something happen, we never got the chance to get in the studio. But I don't know. Hopefully, we've been in touch once or twice, so maybe just like collabing is kind of one of those things where it's just like you always hope it works out, but then again, it always ends up just like having to be the right timing, and like even the Snails thing or like that we just put out as like. We wanted to do a track for like 4 years, like ever since we just like met, we were like, oh, let's do a song together, and then like, it never really came together until we, randomly were in LA at the same time, and we decided to work together in the studio, and then like, sometimes you get in the studio and just nothing happens, it's not that cool, and then sometimes it works out great, so, yeah, hopefully that would have happened eventually, but nothing yet.
Cool. Well, the last time we talked to you, like, I think you were still sort of we talked to you, I guess, like early summer this year, so you were just kind of getting into festival season as like a serious name. Yeah. You had just come off, I think you'd had a Vegas residency maybe, and you had just gotten your Good Vibrations radio on XM with Slander. Yeah. So how's that been going as you sort of moved into the next progression?
Yeah, it's been amazing. I mean, all the festivals this summer have been really, really good. It's awesome to be able to like have great production and stuff, like always having effects and like CO2 and flames and stuff for festivals, which is amazing. And Good Vibrations Radio has been so awesome. Like we have like a small little team of people who kind of just help us all put it together every week, and we always end up picking the songs and like recording our like voiceovers and stuff like that. And then sometimes like I'm in Asia and like Derek's in New York, and like we all like we just have our mics on the road and we can just like record stuff and send it in. It's awesome. It's really cool, and we've gotten a lot of good feedback, like just uploading all the radio shows to SoundCloud, and just a lot of tweets of people driving to work and being like, seeing it on SiriusXM, which is definitely awesome. So
yeah, that has to feel cool.
Yeah.
So it seems like festival season isn't really stopping this fall. Like normally festival season is just the summer. It seems like now it's kind of year round. But as you come off probably the more active part of the year on the road, like you're now at a level where I would not to like blow you up or whatever, but like I would say like you're an EDM star. Like you're in that tier now where people really seek you out as a performer, and where you have like a pretty solid dedicated following of fans. So kind of how does that year change look like for you as you go into the fall and the winter, and you're maybe not doing big festivals as much?
Yeah, it kind of like turns into like usually fall and winter is like kind of like I'm doing the Nightmare Before Christmas thing, so it's like we pick a lot of good big venues that we can go do like one show and have a lot of good support on, and so we have like maybe like 10, 12 of those, and then a lot of times it's like a good time to do international stuff. So like in January, February every year I usually go to Australia because it's summer down there then, and so people like there's a lot more festivals and things going on down there, and like I go to Asia like next week for like a week and a half just touring over there, and I just got back from Europe, and then I'm going to Europe again for ADE and stuff, so it's kind of like it always still stays extremely busy, but it's usually just it's not as much of like the local U.S. stuff. Like it's usually more like either out of the country or last year we got to do the Good Vibrations bus tour, which was really awesome. This year I don't get to do the bus tour, but we're still gonna have a tour, so it'll be fewer dates and stuff. But I'm really excited. It's gonna be a lot of like really historic venues and stuff. So super stoked.
It's probably hard to tell from behind the decks, but if you get to like stay 2 days in a city or hang out with people, meet and greets and stuff, is the sort of the dance music scene around the world pretty homogenized now, or do you notice a difference between the crowds or between the attitudes of the scene in different countries or different cities?
I definitely think I mean, it's definitely a little different. In general, like, the community of, like dance music, I feel like is a pretty similar vibe all around the world. I mean, yeah, it's like, most of the places I've been, I've been to all of them, like, once, like, international places, like, Asia. I've been to, like, Bangkok once, and Japan once, and South Korea once. So I've been to all these places and kind of had an experience there, but everyone is different, and, like, in Japan, I did, like, a really small club, and then in Korea, I did, like, this huge festival where I didn't, like, get to see any of the fans, but it was still wild, and, I feel like it's a pretty similar, like, Europe, I was just doing a bunch, and Europe is, like, just so, like, hit or miss. Like, it could be a show where, like, I played a show in Orléans, like, 2 hours south of Paris, like, a couple weeks ago, and it's, like, a room that was, like, 400 max, maybe 300 max capacity, and there was, like, 150 kids there, and, like, everyone was there, was going super hard, but it was, like, I don't know, it's just super random. And then I went to, like, Lollapalooza in Berlin, and it was, like, the most wild shit I've, like, like, kids were, like, I don't know if you saw, I posted a video the other day of, like, they did, like, while DJs will, like, get everybody, like, get low and do, like, a sit down. Like, they did one without me asking them to do one. Like, there was just a dude in the crowd who was, like, got him and, like, 20 friends to get low, and then he was just, like, going around, like, everybody get down. And I was just, like, I looked up, and then, like, half the crowd was sitting. I was just, like, oh, my gosh, this is amazing.
That's hilarious.
So, yeah, it's, like, it's always different. Germany's really always super, super high-energy crowd, and, people are always really thankful and supportive of my experience so far. So.
Cool. Well, I know you got to run here. What can we expect, or when can we expect new music from you? A new EP, or maybe an album?
Yeah.
Sometime?
I mean, I basically have, like, an album's worth of stuff, but, like, we've kind of decided that, like, it doesn't really make sense to just drop an album all at once, like, at least for dance music people in general, and, like, yeah, maybe sometimes, but, like, in the end, it's better to just kind of do singles. So, like, I just put out Embrace, like, a month ago-ish, and then me and
Hold on, go say that again.
Yeah.
Let's start back over.
Yeah, I'll start with the Embrace.
Let's start back over. So new album?
Yes, new music.
New music.
And I was saying Embrace we just put out with Carmada, that came out like a month ago, and then me and Snail just put out a new song. And then September 29th, so a week from today, I have the first single of, like, my EP coming out. That's, the track's called On the Run.
Cool.
And then that one has been a long time coming. I remember playing that for the first time at EDC Orlando last year, so that's November. So it's been almost a year waiting for that to come out. And then, me and Dylan have a new collab that's going to come in December. And then I have a cool, really dope song with A$AP Ferg and, like, a VIP, like, a cool hip-hop thing, and, like, a crazy dance music version.
Sweet.
So that's going to be really sick. Hopefully both of those will be on the EP. The Ferg thing might take a little longer, like, we've already got the vocal and stuff, but, I have a song that I'm really stoked about that I did with a couple of my buddies from Icon Collective in LA who we went to school with, and, I lived with them for the first 4 years I was in LA, and both super talented. Glad we got to finally do a track together with them, and got 3 or 4 just, like, banger, like, songs. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I'll have stuff coming out basically every 3 weeks to 4 weeks for the rest of the year, and
damn.
starting next year too. That's, like, so probably until, like, February or March for sure. And then I'm always working on tons of stuff, so it just slowly makes its way.
Yeah, you work on the road even, right?
Yeah,
like, you're one of the few people who can
I
kind
feel
of
like
do
I'm
headphones
better
on
at,
a laptop.
like, I can, like, be on an airplane and, like, start an idea, like, if I have an idea.
Right.
But so I do a lot of that where I just, like, make some cool idea at the airport or something, and then when I'm home, I, like, actually, like, sit down and
clean it up.
make it. Yeah, sound good.
Do you you got to run pretty soon, I think, but do you have, like, a strict production process, or you just kind of do it when you can?
Not really. Yeah, I just do it when I can. I mean, I don't really have much of a schedule at all, so it's kind of like whenever I'm home, I usually try to take a day to rest before, like, coming back from tour, and then I just get in the studio every day. So
cool. Awesome, man. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, no
Appreciate it.